this one right here. What I want to talk about is what do we do with the image after we get done in the plugin? Now, one thing we could do is open it, but all that really does is it opens it up in Photoshop Elements, and that's fine. And you start working on it just like any other image, except you now have these first kind of like corrections done to it. There's another thing that we can do. Convert the image into a DNG. Now, you have an option over here called Save Image. Click it. Up here, destination, of course. I'll let you worry about that. Where do you want to put it? Document name, you can change that. File extension, DNG. Digital negative. Now, what's a digital negative? Think of it this way. Adobe doesn't create the camera raw images. The camera does, and the company designs the raw image format. On Nikon, it's an extension of NEF. On Canon, I believe it's RAW. You get it. The idea is it saves it as a proprietary format. Have you ever had this problem? You try to open up a raw image and it says it's not supported. You go, oh, I hate that. And then you go out to the Adobe site, and this is what you should do. And there's probably an update to the raw plugin where the manufacturer gave Adobe the new information and they included it. But understand something. There are formats already of raw images taken with cameras back, like about 300 years ago that are not supported anymore. Because they're so old, they just figure nobody uses them and they just don't want to support that format. So people come in and they double-click happily on an image they took 10 years ago and they can't open it. Now, is there a way to get around that? Surely you could figure out a way to get around it eventually. But this is a way to get around it now. It's the DNG format. When you take your NEF, your RAW, whatever it's called, and convert it to a DNG, you're not losing anything. You are saving it in a proprietary format that's as common as an old shoe. It's a TIFF. It's a PSD. It's a JPEG kind of format that's never going out of favor. And you can be guaranteed you'll always be able to open them in the RAW plugin. So it's a good thing to think about. Now, the digital negative format, that's compatibility with whatever you want it to be. I always choose the latest and the greatest. Down here, you've got a JPEG preview. Now, we're talking about if you open this image in like a layout program, what kind of image do you see for the preview? I like full size. We're talking about raw images that could be 100 megs each. 500K is like nothing. I want a good preview. I put that at full size. Embed fast load data will again increase the file by about a half a meg, but it does help it open faster. So I do use that one too. I do not use this one. Lossy, as in loss of information compression, means take my beautiful, pristine, raw image, and as you're converting it into a DNG, compress it and take the color information out of it. I don't like that, okay? If I want to take it out, I'll do it myself. Embed original raw file if you're like paranoid like a lot of people, myself included. You say, Andy, are you sure this DNG is really always going to be there? I don't know. I say, yeah, well, according to Adobe it is. I'm not sure. I want the raw file and the DNG, and that's what that is. Now, you're going to literally double the size of your files. I don't use that one. I guess I trust Adobe. But the idea is, if you do that, you actually have the raw and you have the DNG. You like your settings? You come up here, you click Save. Now, let's go ahead and cancel out of here. I do want to show you actually one more thing. You go in, say, to Sharpen, and you sharpen, and you noise reduce, and you come up with a formula of amount, radius, detail, masking, luminance, etc. that works, and you've got a batch of images that you have to do. So basically what you do is you write the numbers down. Well, amount's 25, and radius is 1, and detail's 25, etc., 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 so that you can use them over and over again. There's an easier way to do this. If you come up with a winning formula for a whole bunch of images, what you can do is come up to this button right here and go into Save New Camera Raw Defaults. What that means is all your settings will become the defaults the next time you open up another image. Now, the time comes when you want to reset them. You come back here again, you say Reset Camera Raw Defaults. Well, there you go. Camera Raw is an amazing format. It allows you to work with images in a pristine state, uncorrected by the camera, and get you started with an image that has more color information and more detail. If your camera shoots Camera Raw, I would strongly recommend, if you're not already a fan, is getting into it and getting comfortable with it, because I think you're going to like the images.